Hi everyone, it's Ed from APS. I thought I'd do a little walk around video just to show you what's going on today and what cars we've got in. Got some interesting vehicles on site, and I thought I'd take a moment to talk you through them and what's happening. It's one of the first cars in the workshop here on this ramp. So 2003 E46 M3. We've done quite a lot of work to this. It's been here a while we've been doing a combination of bits to it. So it's had a pretty big bodywork overhaul. It had the usual thing with corrosion in the front wings, so new wings, pretty much a full front end repaint, and then some further corrosion sorted out around the rear arches, and some more paintwork there. Engine overhaul, new brakes, wheels are being refurbished, and then new tyres, and then we're pretty well there with this one. It's a really nice original car. It's only done about 40,000 miles, so it's a great find. Manual, of course, and yeah, it's just kind of a case of preserving this as an original car rather than modifying it or using it for track, so it's quite a nice original example. So next to the M3 on this ramp we've got a 2015 Audi S3 Cabriolet, so that's in for a routine service today. A couple of problems that we've spotted on it. I don't know if we can actually see it that easily, but at the front end, up at the front of the engine here, there's a small coolant leak, so we've got to have a look at that and see what's going on there. It's unfortunately a reasonably common issue with that engine, but straightforward enough to sort out, so that's no major problem. Other than that, that's a really nice car. We've looked after it for the owner for a few years now, and yeah, they're good, reliable cars. Next to the S3, we've got this 2010 S4 Avant. This is a really nice car, actually. It's a new customer to us. We've not seen the car before. It's just had, while it's been with us, the front end repainted, which is why it's looking pretty clean and sparkly. We've got to do a final detail on it before it goes back to the owner. While it's in with us, we've done a service, MOT. It's got to have some new tyres put onto it, and we've also picked up on it had a reasonably bad gearbox oil leak, so we've just finished sorting that out. So a couple of last finishing touches, and then that's ready to go back to the owner. This is a good example of, so while the car's been in with us having all the service work done, it can then go across to the other side to our body shop and have the body work done at the same time, so we get everything checked off the list, and then the car goes back absolutely perfect. So finally, on the ramp next to the S4, we've got this Seat Leon. This lives locally to us in Brackley. We've looked after it for a few years now. This is our sort of core work, and yeah, no problems with it. Just a straightforward service today for this one. So out of the workshop and into the car park. It's a beautiful day. Couple of Golfs here. Our TCR in pure grey, lovely car. Golf GTD awaiting a service in the workshop, and then over here two Audi RS models. So lovely original B5 RS4. That's in for a running fault to be sorted out. Nothing too bad. That's a really nice example. We've looked after this for probably, well, since we've opened actually, so nearly 15 years. And a couple of subtle upgrades on it, things like B7 RS4 brakes, Miltech exhaust. It's got ECU remap and some slightly bigger intercoolers. Other than that, it's largely standard. We did a fairly recent big overhaul on it a couple of years ago. Lots of new components fitted, so despite the fact that it's done a few miles, mechanically it's absolutely perfect. RS6, that's in for new brakes, new disc and pads, and a set of tyres. That'll be coming to the workshop a bit later on. And next to that, little Volkswagen Polo waiting collection after a water leak was fixed. And just over here, basking in the sunshine, this is really special. So this is a Tuthill Porsche built 911. It was built about 8 years ago for the owner. So they take an early shell and do a complete rebuild. It's really bespoke and very subtle. The engine is an absolute masterpiece. And the whole car is really. It's absolutely incredible. Really lovely car. And that's in with us for an MOT and a general sort of freshen up. It's been in storage for a while and hasn't had a lot of use. So just a case of really dusting it down and getting it up and going again. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Really nice car. Credit to Tuthill. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're based not far from us up the road, and they're a big Porsche specialist. Do lots of early 911s like this and some racing. Really impressive setup. We now take a quick walk into our sales showroom and have a look at what's going on in here. We've got some lovely cars in just now. In fact, though, we're actually a bit thin on the ground in terms of sales cars. We've had a record month in June post-lockdown. I think a lot of people in the motor trade have experienced this and still are, that demand has been really good. And actually, since we started the vehicle sales arm of APS Specialist Vehicles a couple of years ago, June just gone has been our best month ever. We had a great run with some really exceptional cars that came and went very quickly, and we sold triple the number we normally would for 1 month. So we're incredibly grateful for that support and that business. And I think it just goes to show that, you know, if you look out for really the best examples and present them to the highest level possible, then people will buy them. And right now, so just in front of us here, we've got this Tornado Red Club Sport S. For me personally, this is a car that has been on my radar for a while. I absolutely love them. They're awesome cars to drive. The design differences between this and, say, a Performance Pack GTI or a TCR or a Golf R are quite significant, and the way in which that translates to its driving is superb and so noticeable. For a front-wheel drive car, the traction is absolutely awesome. They're really, really fantastic cars, and this one is probably as close to new as you could find. So it is for sale with us at the moment, but I have to say, if it doesn't sell and we end up keeping it, I won't be particularly upset. It really is a lovely car. In front of that, so talking of Performance Pack GTIs, so this Performance Pack GTI is sold. That's awaiting a final detail this afternoon, and then that's being collected tomorrow. This one, it's lovely because, one, the colour and the wheel combination, it looks absolutely stunning. And it's also a manual, which is quite unusual. A lot of them are DSG, and most people do want DSG, but there are also a lot of people that do want a manual. So it's nice to actually find someone that appreciated that, and that did sell pretty swiftly, which is good. And then if we turn around and have a look just over here, this is something really special. So 2019 V8 Vantage, Aston Martin. It's done a handful of miles, so it's more or less like a brand new car, and it's absolutely stunning. It not only looks amazing, the sound, as you can imagine, is awesome. It's a really, really special car. So we're about to launch that for sale. Scott's just done a load of pictures for us, and Khaled has detailed it. It's beautiful. So that will be going up on our website a little bit later on this afternoon. Just before we go, if we have a quick look inside this Vantage, I mean, it is really, really special. These are really incredible cars, absolutely lovely, beautifully made. The sound is one thing, and then the performance, I mean, it just is sensational. Really lovely car, so whoever buys this will be very happy, I'm sure. So from our showroom into our body shop, and you may have seen pictures of this Mark IV R32 on our social media. It's a 2003 R32. We've looked after it for quite a few years for the owner, and one of his bugbears has always been that the paintwork has let the car down, and as you can see on the front here, the lacquer is starting to lift where a previous repair has started to fail, and there's some overspray around the place. The main problem though is there's quite a lot of corrosion, particularly down there on the sills. You can see quite a common problem with the Mark IVs, and there's a reasonable hole underneath there as well that we've got to sort out, so that's all fixable. The wings unfortunately are scrapped, so they're going in the bin, new wings on, and they're more or less a complete repaint, so hence the need to strip it right down. So a lot of work involved in this, quite a few weeks worth of work, but once it's done, it'll be as close to a new R32 as we can get it. So that is Friday morning at APS. Thanks very much for watching, and thank you everybody for your support, and we'll see you very soon.